sagent, you know, turning on my ear, also known as the sagent. And the sage is been historically classified as the ones who know. Agent is the one who transacts or conducts business on behalf of another. I'm here transacting and conducting business on behalf of the highest order. So, introductions out the way. I got me a little makeshift, a little light right here, man. The lighting is terrible. It's 9:44 at night. Says Einstein. You know. So, well, I wanted to address a thing that might be revealing to some people as to the nature of what's going on when you walk inside a tribunal, especially if it's criminal or civil. Okay, so the Federal Rules of Civil Procedures lets us know that there's only one cause of action, and let's go see what that is. I mean, one form of action. There you go. Federal Rules of Civil Procedure, Rule 2, one form of action. There's one form of action, the civil action. There you go. There you go. Just that simple. There's one form of action, and that's the civil action. All right? So, in the civil action, if something is civil, well, it has to be predicated off of what? Can anybody guess the lucky word? What is the civil action predicated from? The contract. Okay? The contract is the law. The law is the contract. Can't nobody bring you in front of a court if he had no reason. What reason would he have to bring you to court if he didn't have no dealings with you? You think you could just drag somebody into court without a cause of action? I'm here to sue this man because of what? Y'all don't have a contract together. Case in point, a landmark case that set a lot of precedent, you know, was Erie Rovro versus Tompkins. And I want to see. Let me look that up. Erie Railroad versus Tompkins. Yeah, 1938. Okay. In the Erie Rovro versus Tompkins case, now they got a lot of things on here. You might not see what you're looking for, but hey, let's see what we find right here. Erie Rovro versus Tompkins. Erie Rovro versus Tompkins. Okay, so this case was about a guy who was Tompkins. What's his name? I forget his name. His name should be in here. But Tompkins, he was a citizen of Pennsylvania. He was injured on a dark night by a passing freight train of the Erie Railroad Company while walking along his right-of-way at Hughestown. In that state, he claimed that the accident occurred through negligence in the operations or maintenance of the train, that he was rightfully on the premises as a licensee because on a commonly used beaten footpath which ran for a short distance alongside the tracks, and that he was struck by something which looked like a door projecting from one of the moving cars. To enforce that claim, he brought an action in the federal court for Southern New York, which had jurisdiction because the company is a corporation of that state. It denied liability, and the case was tried by a jury. Erie insisted that its duty to Tompkins, hold on, if you didn't figure out why I was at, I'm right here. The Erie insisting that its duty to Tompkins was no greater than that owed to a trespasser. It contended, among other things, that its duty to Tompkins and hence its liability should be determined in accordance with the Pennsylvania law, that under the law of Pennsylvania, as declared by its highest court, persons who use pathways along the railroad way, that is, a longitudinal pathway as distinguished from a crossing, are to be deemed as trespassers, and that the railroad is not liable for the injuries to undiscovered trespasser resulting from its negligence, unless it be wanton or willful. Tompkins denied that any such rule had been established by the decision of the Pennsylvania courts, and contended that since there was no statute of the state on the subject, that the railroad's duty and liability is to be determined in federal court as a matter of general law. So if you go and read through this case carefully, this case was a landmark case. It set precedent. That means it changed a lot of things. This case right here changed the nature of the court from common law to commercial. Right here. Right here. This resulted in the part broad province according to the so-called general law as to which federal court exercises an independent judgment. 10, in the addition and questions of purely what? Commercial law. Including the obligations under contract. So from this case came, there cannot be no cause of action lest there be a contract. There can be no cause of action, criminal or civil, lest there be a contract. Okay? So now, with that being said, all right, if we go to the Constitution for the United States of America, Constitution for the United States. Okay? Now, what will we find here if we look in the Constitution? Huh? What are we going to find when we look in the Constitution? All right. Let's see right here. The Constitution of the United States. All right. Let's go to the 6th Amendment. Here go the Bill of Rights. All right. All right, here go the articles. Article 3. Okay. All right. What are the amendments? Here we go. Let's go to the 6th Amendment. 5, 6. In all criminal prosecutions, the accused shall enjoy the right to a speedy and a public trial. Right here, the 6th Amendment. All right. By an impartial jury of the state and district wherein the crime shall have been committed, which districts have been previously ascertained by law, and to be informed of the nature and cause of the accusation, to be confronted with the witnesses against them, to have compulsory processes for obtaining witnesses in his favor, and to have assistance counsel for his defense. So what does it tell us right there in the 6th Amendment? That you have the right to be known of the cause, nature and cause. So what's the nature of it? They're going to tell you, if you go into a criminal court, the nature of this is criminal. And if you go into a civil court, the nature of this is civil. And what's the cause of action? Well, the cause of action would be what? Your breach of contract. You gave your the other person to the contract, the other party to the contract, a cause of action. Okay? You gave him a cause of action. Now, let's scoot up here, right here. Hold on 1 second. Now, right here in the 5th Amendment, it lets us know that on top of you not you having the right to not be compelled to be to compel in any criminal case to be a witness against yourself, nor to be deprived of your life, liberty, or property without due process of law. So okay, let's go. How is this? How are you reaping or benefiting from the Constitution if you go into court and you're being arrested and taken to jail before you was ever convicted of anything? Before you was being convicted of anything. You've been arrested, you've been down there fingerprinted, and they got you sitting in jail. You ain't been convicted of nothing. You only been accused of something. Now, so how does that look if you have to have a trial in front of a jury of your peers and somebody levied a charge against you and it's been in the news? It looks bad for you because you've been locked up. They make you look like you're guilty of what you've been charged of, because when you go into court, you don't even have, you can't plead innocent. You got guilty, not guilty, or no low contender. Right? Okay. So, okay. In Article 6 of the Constitution, it also says the Constitution and the laws of the United States, which shall be made in pursuance thereof, and all treaties made, or which shall be made under the authority of the United States, shall be the supreme law of the land, and judges in every state shall be bound thereby. Judges in every state shall be bound thereby, and anything in the Constitution or laws of said state to the contrary, notwithstanding. They bound by oath. And what's this right here? What is this? What is this Constitution? Why is it so relevant when you go into a courtroom? Why? Because this Constitution is the bylaws of the corporation, the United States. Okay? And for my people who don't really understand that the United States is a corporation, let's go see what the United States Code has to say about this. 28 U.S.C. 3002 15A. What does the United States Code have to say about this? No, yeah. I know that the United States is a business or corporation. So how do you know that? Because somebody else told you? Because I know because they code tell me right here. The United States means a federal corporation or an agency, a department, a commission, board, or other entity of the United States. The Social Security Administration? Is that an agency of the United States? Okay, then. That's the United States. An instrumentality of the United States. This is a very open-ended and vague term if you don't know what it means. So let's go see what this word instrumentality means. All right, let's open up another tab. All right, instrumentality. Legal definition of instrumentality. Let's see what instrumentality is. Okay. Right here. Let's do it. An instrumentality, something through which an end is achieved or occurs. Oh, something that serves as an intermediary or agent through which one or more functions of a larger controlling entity are carried out, a part or a branch, especially of a governing body. Compare alter ego. Who? So is the state, the corporate state of, well, which I live, Illinois, instrumentality of the United States? Is the corporate state of Illinois something that serves as an intermediary, a going between, or agent through which one or more functions of a larger controlling entity are carried out? What are the larger functions of the controlling entity, the United States, according to the Commerce Clause of the United States Constitution? The larger governing body has control or authority over all commercial activity. And that state, and through the Constitution, that authority to regulate commerce was given to the individual states as well over all commercial activity. All commercial activity. So we gave these people the authority to regulate commerce. Huh? Did we or did we not? So when you come here, that's what's going on. You walk into a court, well, it's commercial. Well, Lamont L., how is it commercial if I'm here for a criminal charge? Well, there's no such thing as a common law jurisdiction in federal court, first of all. Period. There's no common law jurisdiction in federal court. Federal courts are courts of limited jurisdiction. And if my memory serves me right, Folly Brothers versus Falardo says all federal legislation shall apply to the territories unless a contrary intent appears. Huh? So now, look at this. This is what's going on. Check this out. The definition of debt in 28 U.S.C. 3002, Section 3. A debt means an amount that is owing to the United States on account of a direct loan. Okay. They get you some money. So what's a direct loan? PPP. That's my bedtime. I'm supposed to be going to sleep. A direct loan is a PPP. Or a loan insured or guaranteed by the government, guaranteed by the United States. Okay. Now this where it gets juicy. This is a debt, an amount that is owing to the United States on account of a fee A duty, a lease, a rent, a service, the sale of real or personal property, overpayment, fine. Look at that. Penalty. Restitution, damages, a bail bond forfeiture. That's a debt. Reimbursement, recovery of costs incurred by the United States or other sources of indebtedness to the United States, but that is not owing under the terms of a contract originally entered into by only persons. That's a unique. Person. Check that out. This is a person. Includes a natural person, including an individual Indian, a corporation, a partnership, an unincorporated association, a trust, an estate, or any other public entity or private entity, including a state or local government or Indian tribe. That's a person. Includes a natural person, you and I. So, a debt is a fine. When you go into court, well, what's the state's offer? Well, the state would like to impose a fine of $400 for speeding 30 over the speed limit. Or they would like you to pay a penalty for being late on what? Maybe your property taxes? For being late on the what's owed to Caesar? Did you not get render unto Caesar what is Caesar's? Guess what they're going to do? They're going to charge your ass a penalty for being late. They're going to fine you for being late. A tax is a debt. You paying property taxes? Okay, that's a debt being owed to the United States. And guess what? You remember the United States said the United States means the instrumentality of the United States. So if you owe the corporate state of Illinois, the corporate state of California, the corporate state of Georgia, well, they're beholden to who? The United States. Because the corporate state of whatever you live in is something that serves as an intermediary or agent through which one or more functions of a larger controlling entity, which is the United States, are carried out. So the United States the corporate United States is using the individual states as a vehicle to collect revenue. Debtor, you're a debtor. And what does a debtor mean? 4, same section. A debtor means a person who is liable for a debt against whom there's a claim for a debt. So what do you think an indictment is? A charging instrument. What do you think of the information or an affidavit or charge? Anything that's used to charge a case and to initiate a prosecution? What do you think that is? That's a claim for a debt. They just told you what a debt is. Isn't the prosecutor trying to impose a penalty of jail time upon you? Is he not? Is the prosecutor trying to impose a penalty of jail time upon you? Is the prosecutor not trying to get you to pay a restitution? Or restitution for what? A cost incurred from the prosecution? Is he not trying to impose a fee upon you? So guess what? You're in debt, buddy. You're a debtor. You're a debtor. So, with that being said, all right. A security agreement, that's cold right there. A security agreement means an agreement that creates or provides for a lien. So, what's a security agreement? Does a security agreement sound like a contract? Let's see what it means. An agreement that creates and provides for a lien. Okay. Let's see. After they get you into the courtroom. Now, first of all, hold on. For my people who still don't realize this is commercial. For my people who really do not realize the power and authority granted to the federal government by way of the Commerce Clause of the Constitution. So, every statute that's created must have a regulation that it draws from. That's where it derives its authority from, the regulation. If a statute isn't derived from a regulation, then it has no authority. So let's go check out the Code of Federal Regulations, specifically Chapter 72, Section 27.11. Let's see what that says. Meanings of terms. Let's go. Let's get down here. Oh shit. It's finna get juicy. Okay. We in 27 Code of Federal Regulations. If you ever see the sign, that means section 72.11. The meaning of terms. So if anybody doesn't know, according to the rules of statutory construction, when these people are creating statutes and rules and laws, they have to put the meaning of what they're saying within the statute, and it cannot be expanded to be inclusive of other things that were not mentioned in the definition of the word. So if I was a part of the legislature of the state of Illinois and we made it unlawful for you to wear tennis shoes, we have to define what tennis shoes are. Tennis shoes means canvas sneakers, Vans, Chuck Taylors, K-Swiss, Reeboks, shoes of the like, stuff like that. Okay. We're going to call those tennis shoes. So if we outlaw tennis shoes and I caught you walking down the street in a pair of Timberlands, and mister, you don't know your rights, so you can't assert any, I can convict you. I can say, well, you broke the law, man. You wearing tennis shoes. I'll be like, well, I got on Timbs. And then you're going to run into somebody like me who wearing my Timbs. I'm going to pull up the statute for you right there on the spot. Hey, bro, this don't say nothing about Timberlands in there. They did not define boots. They defined canvas sneakers. And then they proceeded to name what that is. And that's just an illustration. So what does this say right here? In the Code of Federal Regulations, Chapter 27, Section 72.11, it says commercial crimes. So what's going on? Commercial crimes. Any of the following types of crimes. Oh, they made it clear. State or federal. There you go. Offenses against the revenue laws. Okay. Burglary. Counterfeiting. Forgery. Now look at this. Kidnapping. There you go. Kidnapping is a commercial crime. Larceny. Robbery. Illegal sale or possession of deadly weapons is commercial. Prostitution, including soliciting, procuring, pandering, white slaving, keeping house of ill fame or like offenses. Extortion, swindling, and confidence games, and attempting to commit or conspiring to commit or compounding any of the foregoing crimes. That mean putting these together. Addiction to narcotic drugs and use of marijuana be treated as if such were commercial crimes. Now this is a common law crime right here. Kidnapping, that's common law because the offense is done against someone, their body. You're taking someone and holding them against their will, right? That's a common law crime. So how is this a crime that actually has what? A corpus delicti, a real injured party. They actually have a real corpus delicti, and they have a real corpus delicti, and you're treating this as if it's a commercial crime. I'm confused. So they letting you know right there when you come in, okay, if that's commercial, then this is a debt collection because the prosecutor is trying to impose a what? A fine, a fee, and a penalty upon you. And when we looked in the United States Code, it says that a fine, a penalty, and a fee were three of the many definitions of the word debt. So someone, the state, the corporate state of, is making a claim against who? Come on, my scholars. Your straw man. They couldn't be making a claim against you. Why? Because they're a fictitious entity operating in the real world. Can a knife bring charges against a human? Hello. Can a cell phone bring charges against a human? Your Honor, the prosecution on behalf of this Apple iPhone would like to impose a fine, penalty, or fee upon the sagent. I mean, does it really make sense? Last time you had a problem with your burger at McDonald's, did you talk to McDonald's? Or did you talk to the lady who was working the cash register? No, I want McDonald's to come down off the side of the building and come holler at me. I need to talk to McDonald's directly. All right, then. You can't talk to McDonald's. Because this is what McDonald's is. McDonald's is a piece of paper. When whoever that was that started McDonald's had a bright idea, I'm going to start a burger spot. I'm going to name it McDonald's. Guess what he did? He went down to the Secretary of State and got his articles of organization, and he wrote down his company's information on it, got him an EIN, and he started doing business. Got him a bank account, and he started doing business. United States, the same thing as a federal corporation. And just for my people who don't know, the United States can be used in many different senses. Okay? So, if we go here and look, okay, we seen what the United States means. Okay? So, what is the definition of the United States? Let's go look somewhere else in the code. Definition of the United States. Let's go look up the definition of the United States. You ready? Because this gonna get you right here. This gonna get you right here. All right. So listen. Now, this is definitely for your miseducation. They put stuff like this on the internet right here. It says the United States means the 50 states, and it do. The United States, these states are, but you look at that right there. Now, for my students who know simple grammar, let's go back to the 3rd grade right here. Once again, it's just simple stuff that you look past. What type of word has the first letter capitalized? A proper noun. Okay? A proper noun. So right here, when they say this United States, they got it all wrong. Because right here, United is not a proper noun in how we use it and how we engage the phrase the United States. Well, we talking about the 50 states that are united by and under one constitution. So the word united would not be capitalized in the front because it's not a proper noun. United would be an adjective describing what the states are. They're united. They're together by and under one constitution. So this is what I want to get to. The District of Columbia, the Commonwealth of Puerto Rico, Guam, the Virgin Islands, the Trust Territory, the Pacific Islands, and any territory or possession of the United States. Their territory, Social Security number, possession, Social Security number, anything like that. Now, let's see what else they got out there. Definition of the United States. Now, we really want to go into the code, U.S. code to define the terms United States right here. It's not legal advice right here. United States. Now, if you go into different, especially in the IRS code, you go into IRS codes, it's going to let you know what the United States mean. And not once will you see the 50. They always say the several states. Yeah, what states are they talking about? The District of Columbia. That's what they're talking about. So, if anybody uses the word United States, I'm going to ask you to define that. And where did you derive that definition from? If you tell me the United States means the 50 states, you're going to have to show me. The term United States means the states. Look, is that not vague? The states. What are the states? They talking about the states or the territories of the corporate United States, which is the District of Columbia, the Commonwealth of Puerto Rico. So they'll put stuff like that to throw you off to make you think that they're talking about the states. Then this is what we call words of art, colorful words. The United States means the states, including Puerto Rico, and the territories in possession of the United States, including the District of Columbia, Puerto Rico. What else? The Virgin Islands. Guam, the Pacific Trust Territories, any territory possession. All right. 5 USC. United States means in several states in the District of Columbia, but does not include Alaska or Hawaii. What are they talking about? They federal government. That's what they talking about. So, this is commercial. Do you not do they not use commercial terms when they come here? Like you're being charged. Excuse me. Well, the cashier at McDonald's don't charge you until you what? Place an order. That's commercial. So, I want you to go back with me and let's take another look at this word right here. Security agreement. That's a quite interesting word for me, security agreement, because a security agreement means an agreement that creates or provides for a lien. So, since there isn't any money, how's value created? And, oh my goodness. Let me say that me being a student of very, very educated men, educated brothers and sisters over across the years, one of the teachers who I've been sticking with for a long time as Yusuf L. And I like Tazadak Shabe. Tazadak, he's very thorough. You know what I'm saying? And there's a lot of other people, but those are the two main guys that I really study. And he's really drilled it through my head that this is all commercial and a security agreement is a contract. So let's think of another creative word to use in place of security agreement, since it's a contract. So, you know, if these people had authority to do what they're doing, they wouldn't ask you anything. Well, what's the state's offer? Offer is terms that are associated with what? Contracts. Because in order for a contract to be lawfully binding, there has to be what? Offer, acceptance, consideration. I mean, they got to give you something to accept their offer, and you will give them something likewise as well. Consideration. Okay, we both give consideration. Okay, offer, acceptance, consideration. Full disclosure. That means there is no hidden clause or no part of this contract which will give you a cause of action to rescind from out of this contract, because I fully disclose to you the terms and conditions of it. And free of stress, threat, duress, and coercion. Now, we signed this with a clear conscience and a clear head. Nobody's under threat. And what do we have? A lawfully binding contract. But you going to court, and you're there by way of stress, threat, duress, and coercion because it's a bailiff who's armed, wearing a vest. He got a little walkie-talkie going off. He looks real intimidating. When you go in there, your name is being called, and you have to come bow in front of the God of the court, which is the black robe. And this person is very strategic in what words they use to get you to agree to what they're doing. Do you understand? No, my honor. I do not understand. Well, what is it that you don't understand? Now they're going to sit there and turn around and get you to think that they're using their words in a normal context, and they're not. You better not understand nothing when you go into a court, because what he asking you is, do you stand under my authority? No, I don't. But I need your help. So let's comprehend this, okay? Let's comprehend this. That the Constitution for the United States grants the courts 3 jurisdictions. Okay? Law, equity, and maritime admiralty. All right? So, maritime is the law of the water, of the law at sea during the time of peace. And admiralty is the law of the water, the law at sea, in the time of war. So, those are both one and the same, maritime and admiralty. You got law and equity. Okay? Law deals with men and other human beings and souls. And law, okay, so let me back it up a little bit. And at the beginning of this video, the Federal Rules of Civil Procedure says that there's one form of action known as what? The civil action. And in Erie Railroad versus Tompkins, the case I showed you after showing you that is the landmark precedent case that rendered the opinion that no civil or criminal cause of action may arise unless there be a contract. So what are you getting at? Well, I'm getting at the jurisdiction that these courts operating under. Well, only two jurisdictions have a criminal aspect. One is under the common law, and the other constitutes a condition of contract under a criminal aspect of a colorable admiralty jurisdiction. There we go. Those are only ones that have a criminal aspect to it, which is law, which is the common law. Equity doesn't have a criminal aspect. So let's get equity out of there. So now you just left with the common law, and the other constitutes a condition of contract under a criminal aspect of a colorable admiralty jurisdiction. So since the common law requires for there to be an injured party, which is a corpus delicti, the body upon which the crime was committed, then there would have to be a victim. And if it's the state of Illinois versus you, the state of Illinois cannot be a victim because it is a corporation. So there goes your law. What are you left with? The admiralty jurisdiction, the one that constitutes a condition of a contract under a criminal aspect. So in the admiralty, there must be an international maritime contract placed into evidence. Or what else is operating against me? An unrebutted presumption, a presumption that I know nothing about. Am I presumed to be a what? A debtor, a fiction, a U.S. citizen? Is there something that I need to know that I don't know at this time when I walk in here? I'm presumed to be in the contract with the corporate state of Illinois. I'm presumed to be in the contract with the United States of America. Why are you presumed to be in a contract? Because you're accepting benefits and privileges from the public. Welfare? Huh? You a welfare recipient? Mr. Disabled Veteran? You're a welfare recipient because you receive benefits and privileges. Huh? You get Social Security check? That's welfare. You get a check for anything else that comes from the government? That's welfare. So don't set yourself on a different type of welfare pedestal just because you got a problem with this lady over here who has a numerous amount of children and she receives welfare for them. They're taking all your hard taxpaying dollars too, huh? So we know that it's commercial. I just showed you in the Code of Federal Regulations. It's commercial crimes. Kidnapping is commercial crime. So what's going on here? They're operating in a commercial capacity under the admiralty jurisdiction. I mean, I just did the process of elimination for you. What else are you left with? And did I not show you the Constitution for the United States of America and the Sixth Amendment grants you the right to be known, for you to know the cause, the nature and cause of the accusation, the nature and cause of this proceeding? I need to know the nature and cause of it, sir. And once you know these different things, you reveal people's intent. So it's a debt collection, and you're a debtor. And so let's go over here to Illinois, because I live in Illinois, and so what's going on is they're trying to create value. The only way value is created with no money, no gold or silver is what? By interest in what? Things, property. I have to have, for me to create value in a system that's based on debt, where there is no actual currency, I have to create an interest in something that's tangible. I got to create an interest in that mink coat on your back. I have to create an interest in this property over here. Okay? So we need to create an interest. Let's go over here to Illinois General Assembly. Illinois General Assembly. Let's go. All right, bam. Let's go to the compiled statute of Illinois. Legislation law, bills and resolutions, Illinois compiled statutes. All right. Now, if anybody here has been on child support, you know, what do you think is going on once the child support court has put a judgment against you? Because the only thing that they can attach to is what? Hello, social security number. You use that social security number to do what? Everything. Use that social security number to get an account at a bank. Use that social security number to identify yourself with every agency that you come in contact with. Almost every agency. You put your social security number on applications when you looking for an apartment to live in or a house to live in. Why would you do that? When the Privacy Act gives you the right to not disclose that number to anybody for specific reasons. That's what I counted. And if they do ask you for that social security number, that you have the right and to be informed of what they're using it for, and they have to show you the law, which gives them the authority to solicit your social security number from you. I don't have a social. When I'm asked, I do not have a social. I don't use it. What are you using it for? So, if that social security number is given to you by the government, if you look on the backside of a social security card, hold on one second. Social security card. Let's go look at a picture of a social security card. Images. What does the backside of a social security card say? Let's see. Okay. Let's put the back in. The back of social security card. What does it say on the back of a social security card? Here we go, right here. Boom. This card belongs to the Social Security Administration, and you must return it if we ask for it. Bam. There you go. This is their property. So if you acquire anything through your labor, through your sweat equity with this number, have you or have you not just created an interest, just gave the Social Security Administration, which is an instrumentality of the United States, and have you not created an interest for them, a third party interest in your property? You go get that nice Benz you've been working for all these years. Well, we need your social security number to give you a loan to get this car. Well, a transaction is primarily usually between two people. There can be multiple people to a transaction, yes, but those are very advanced transactions with very thoroughly typed out and executed contracts. But we're talking about a simple transaction between two people. If I buy a vehicle from somebody, me not registering that vehicle with the state does not invalidate our transaction. No. I'm not giving no social for this car. I like this car. I work for this. I'm not finna give somebody else interest in this property. Because guess what's going to happen if they say you owe them taxes and you didn't pay it and you've been evading taxes? Guess what they're going to do? They're going to put a lien on your bank accounts. They're going to put a lien on your property. They're going to put a lien on your future labor. And you think I'm lying? Let's come over here to Illinois in a criminal procedure. And this is 725 ILCS, means the Illinois Compiled Statute. Section 5, Code of Criminal Procedure of 1963. Excuse me. Now let's go down here. Title 8. Liens and cost. Bam. Now look at this. Now look at this. Now would you look at this? Now, right here, under this article, headed liens and costs, okay? 725 Illinois Compiled Statutes 5/124A-5. Section 124A-5 says a judgment for cost of prosecution. When a person, and we all know who a person is. Oh, let me go back. Let's go back. 28 U.S.C. 3002. 15A. And I just need you to see this once again. Let's look up these words. What does the word person mean? Includes a natural person, including an individual Indian, a corporation, a partnership, an unincorporated association, a trust or an estate, strawman, or any other public or private entity. Persons, including a state or local government or Indian tribe. That's a person, okay? So when a person is convicted of an offense under a statute, now look, under a statute, they letting you know. What does that tell you? Because there are civil offenses under the statute, right? Traffic, like orders of protection and civil actions. that somebody can bring against you by way of a statute. Okay? So, if a person is convicted of an offense under a statute, that means civil or criminal statute, or at common law between two persons, there you go, the court shall enter a judgment that the offender, the defendant, pay the cost of the prosecution. That's why when you sue somebody, you can also get the court to include against them the cost of what you had to pay to bring the action into court. What do you think, the prosecutor don't sue you for the cost of the prosecution? Yes, he does. And you pay that when you get in the halfway house. Or they take it off your books while you're in prison. The cost shall include reasonable cost incurred by the sheriff for serving arrest warrants, for picking up the offender from a county other than the one which he or she was convicted. I mean, they got to come grab you from somewhere else. You're paying for the gas, buddy. And for picking up the offender from a location outside the state of Illinois pursuant either to his or her extradition or to his or her waiver of extradition. Now let's get to this. Lien. This is how they're creating value. The property, real and personal, of a person who is convicted of an offense shall be bound. That means that's us. Run that. And a lien is created on the property. So they said, even though they didn't evidence this lien by filing it on the UCC1 and recording it into the commercial chamber of the Secretary of the State, this lien is created by you being convicted under what? A statute. So this is your notice of lien right here in their statutes and their code. This is your notice of lien. Right here. They're noticing you that if you convicted of an offense, that your property, real and personal, shall be bound. And a lien is created on the property, both real and personal, of every offender, not exempt from the enforcement of a judgment or attachment. What's an attachment? What's an attachment? An attachment is a lien. An attachment is a lien. From the time of finding the indictment, at least so far as will be sufficient to pay the fine and cost of prosecution, the clerk of the court in which the conviction is had shall, upon the expiration of 30 days after judgment, it seems like that lien cured after that 30 days, is entered to issue a certified copy of the judgment. They got to let it cure. Entered a certified copy of the judgment is entered a certified copy of the judgment for any fine. You remember what they say? What a fine was? A fine was a debt. So they're liening you until you pay up. They lien your property until you pay up. Why do you think the court can garnish your wages? So what's your property? Your property, said real or personal. What's your personal property? Your intellectual property, your thoughts when you write them on paper, that's your property. Your song that you wrote, that's your property. That beat that you made to rap that song over, that's your intellectual property. But guess what else? The most important thing of all that is your labor. So they get to put a lien against your labor until you pay them off. So how is this not a lien for the satisfaction of a debt? Because it says any fine that remains unpaid. Bro, we not lifting this lien until you done. Probation ain't done until you pay us. You don't get successfully discharged from probation until you pay everything that you owe. And all costs of conviction remain unpaid. Unless a court ordered payment schedule is implemented, the clerk of court may add to any judgment a delinquency amount equal to 5% of unpaid fines. So they let you know that, guess what? What does that sound like? What does that delinquency amount sound like? Does that delinquency amount sound like does that delinquency amount sound like a penalty? You're delinquent. You didn't pay on time. That means you're delinquent. Does that not sound like a penalty? Is a penalty right here in this code not defined as a debt? All right. Unpaid fine costs. What's that? Fees. Whoa, oh, okay. Hold on. Fees. Let's go back. Right there. Fee on account of a fee. It's a fee, not a debt, according to United States Code. And oh my goodness, penalties is a penalty, not a debt. Excuse me. I'm saying everything is here for you to see what's going on. But when you walk in there, you gotta go in there. You walking on a tightrope with no safety net, and the wind is blowing. And while the wind is blowing, you carrying a balance beam, and the judge is shooting poisoned, flaming darts, arrows at you. Ain't that a tough act? Okay, penalties. That's a debt. Debt. Remain unpaid after 30 days. 10% of unpaid fines, costs, fees, and penalties remain unpaid after 60 days. This Illinois, they going crazy on you. They going to tax the brakes off you. Notice to those parties affected may be made by signage, posting, or publication. Okay, the clerk of the court may also, after a period of 90 days, look, we got that 30 days and that 90 days there, like they let something cure, to credit, to release to credit reporting agencies information regarding unpaid amounts. When I went through the federal system, a $90,000 restitution was levied against my straw man. And guess what? That was reporting on his credit. Yeah, they not lying. They gonna put on there. So if this is all about law, if this wasn't commercial, why would they be reporting anything to these credit agencies? Because if they put a derogatory mark on your credit rating, what does that prevent you from doing? That prevents you from going to get a nicer house. That prevents you from going to get a nicer vehicle. That prevents you from doing certain things that you plan on doing in the commercial chamber. Is this or is this not commercial? But hold on. Now you remember, I'm talking to you. I'm giving you citation to authority from the criminal procedure in Illinois. But the Federal Rules of Civil Procedure told you that there should be one form of action, and it's a civil. Now, even though it's a criminal action, it's civil in nature. Because we're under the what? The admiralty. And it constitutes a condition of contract under a criminal aspect. Okay? They letting securities cure back here. The additional delinquency amounts collected in the section shall be used to defray additional administrative costs. Let's go look this word up. Defray. What does defray mean? To undertake the payment of costs or expenses. To pay. Used to pay additional administrative costs incurred by the clerk of the court in collecting unpaid fines by the clerk of the court. The certified copy of the judgment shall state the day on which the arrest was made or indictment found. As the case may be, enforcement of the judgment may be directed to the proper officer of any county in this state. The officer to whom the the certified copy of the judgment delivered shall levy. Levy. What does levy mean? Let's go. Are these not commercial terms? They telling you what's going on. They telling you what's going on. What's the definition of levy? Okay. Right there. To impose a tax. To levy upon duty or imports, the amount owed or collected. The conscription of troops, levying. To impose a tax or fine, for example, on someone. To impose a tax. To levy. To confiscate property. Especially in accordance with a legal judgment. A levy. There you go. They're confiscating your property. A levy. The judgment upon all the estate. They talking about your estate. What's that estate, man? What's the estate? The social security number, man. That's the estate. That's your straw man. Upon the estate. They know you're acquiring property with that. Instrumentality. They know you're acquiring property with that. They know you're using it to identify yourself. They know that you don't know that there's a presumption aimed against you and being one and the same with your public fiction. Okay? Real or personal. Of the defendant. Okay? Possessed by him or her on the day of arrest or finding of the indictment. as stated in the subsequently acquired and the property, as stated in the certified copy of the judgment and any such property subsequently acquired and the property so levied upon shall be advertised and sold in the same manner as in a civil case, with the like rights to all parties that may be interested, bam, in the property. So who's interested in the property here if the state is putting a lien on it? The state is interested in your property. And now since they put a lien on your property and they're able to sell it for an amount, did they not create value by leaning your property and was able to sell it for your unpaid cost of fines or for whatever you owe for the cost of the prosecution or anything else for that matter to satisfy that judgment? This is commercial. It is not an objection to the selling of any property under the judgment that the defendant is in custody for the fine or cost or both. You see that? You see that? So it's in your code. Whatever state you live in, go look in that code. They gonna tell you what's going on. They gonna tell you what's going on in that code. Here we go. This is in Illinois. This is a criminal procedure. This is what they excuse me. This is what they doing. General provisions, title and scope, general definitions. Let's go see. Let's go see what some things mean. Arraignment, arrest, bail, pretrial release. They tell you what it means. Didn't I just tell you that they have to define what everything means in their code? I told you that. Court means, indictment means a written statement presented by the grand jury of the court which charges the commission of an offense. Let's see what the word charges mean. Legal definition of the word charge. Ooh. Legal definition of the word charge. To impose a duty, responsibility or obligation on. Okay? To impose a duty, responsibility, obligation. What's a duty? You don't owe a duty or nothing unless you commit to something, right? Or obligation. It sounds like a contract to me. They're charging you. You're charged with a duty. When your mom and your pops or your auntie, your uncle, your grandmother, whoever raised you, left the house and you had to stay with other siblings, who did they usually put in charge? The eldest. The eldest was put in charge. He was given a responsibility and an obligation to keep y'all in safe care while the higher authority was gone away from the house. Charge. They're charging you. These are commercial terms. Doesn't the cash register at McDonald's charge you after you place an order? Okay then. So okay. Anyways, so you go look into what the specific codes, and they'll start to tell you what everything means, and they'll let you know what's going on. You see that? Forfeiture provisions. Hold on. Applicability. Forfeiture of property in connection with the following what? Applicability. So they're saying this part of this code right here is applicable. Offenses. This article applies to forfeiture of property in connection with the following. One, a violation of section 10 through 9 or 10A through 10 of the Criminal Code of 1961 or the Criminal Code of 2012. Okay. Involuntary servitude of a minor or trafficking person is a violation of subject the Criminal Code of 1961, Criminal Code of 2012. Where is that? 61. So they letting you know if you violate the Criminal Code, you're forfeiting your property. A felony violation of the Criminal Code, you're forfeiting your property. So how do they know what property you have? Well, I don't know. Maybe you registered the property on your social security number. And anytime that you come into their courts and their offenses, they look you up by way of that social. They got all your information, right? You're a United States citizen. We could charge him. But when you come in there and let you know that you don't operate, you operate outside of their society and you're not a United States citizen, people get to raising eyebrows at you. Well, it seems like a conflict of interest here, sir. You come here, you claiming not to be United States citizens, but let's look here. You getting what you get? You got a EBT card. You get cash assistance. You get rent vouchers. You get every type of public assistance that you can ask for, but you're not a United States citizen. So you want to continue to reap the benefits of accepting benefits and privileges from us, but you're not a United States citizen. Something is wrong here. Something is wrong here. You see what I'm saying? So that's what's going on. And this is simply put. Just go look through your code and it'll tell you what's going on. And this just criminal. You know what I'm saying? You can go to the civil. You can go to the civil side of what you let's see. There you go. Right there. Civil procedure. See that? Code of civil procedure. There you go. Appearances, appointment of guardians, class actions, civil practice. Let's go here. The civil practice. Look what they got going on. Residents of corporations. There you go. If you thought a corporation couldn't be a resident, venue. They letting you know what's going on. What's this? Public corporations. They let you know what's going on, and you got to go look there because it'll reveal to you the cause and nature of these actions, right? They can look at that frivolous lawsuits filed by prisoners, change of name. They want you to change. If you want to change your straw man name, this is how you got to do it. This is how you got to do it. This is how you change. You're not changing your name. You're changing your straw man name if you do it through the state. Hello. Real actions, personal actions. Mortgage foreclosure. Mortgage lien priorities. Redemption by the state, concealing property. Trial of right of property. Habeas corpus, distress for rent. Eviction, immigration status, minors. Expert witness standards. Surveys, recordings and patents, statutes and reports, judicial notice, voters' privileges, effective release or assignment. Hello. What do you think these people are doing when they sell your debt to somebody else? They're assigning it to someone else. They're releasing it. That's discharged. Cost. Right there. Security for costs and all actions in any court on official bonds for the use of any person, actions on the bonds of executors, administrators, or guardians, key tam actions, actions against a penal statute, and all civil actions where the plaintiff or a person for whose use and action is to be commenced is not a resident within the state. The plaintiff or the person for whose use the action is to be commenced shall, before he or she institutes such action, file or cause to be filed with the clerk of court in which the action is to be commenced, security for cost substantially in the following form. Enter myself security for all the costs which may accrue. Why do they? So they want you to bond yourself. A security. What's a security? Security. What's a security? Okay, this is what a security is. Hold on. Let's go. Let's see what a security is. Something that gives or assures safety. Let's see. Depositing. Something that's deposited or given as assurance to fulfillment of obligation. Collateral. When you try to go get a business loan and your business credit ain't that good, do you know what a PG is? A personal guarantor? Are you not acting as a security? A fee de jour? Huh? A fee de jour? That's an old word right there. A fee de jour. A surety. One bond for another. A surety bound for another jointly with him, or a guarantor. You're a fee de jour. You're a fee de jour. That's a funny word. Fee de jour too. You know, that's short. I got a wild name of that. Fee de jour. Let's see if they popped that. You got juicery, but it's not on there. It's in the Black's Law Dictionary. But yeah, they want you to be they want you to put up security. They want you to put up security, and they tell you what form to do it. They tell you how to do it. This is the form on how to do it. This is the form right here. Signed. Okay. Effective a bond. So, you know, you giving them a cause of dismissal for the one of security. So you think when they coming out when they coming out, do they tell the prosecutor in a civil action, since they need you to put up a bond or security for the commencement of his action? Does the prosecutor bond himself when he brings a civil action to court against you? Does he? Does the prosecutor put a bond into court? Is there an official bond on the record they have to be bonded for? They got to put their money where their mouth is, because commercial liability has been put at stake here. Hello? Nobody's commercial liability has been put at stake. You haven't bonded your position, sir. You couldn't have a claim. And I'm standing on that. Something very simple. So review this video. Go back and look at it. You know, and my email will be in the comments below. My email will be in the description below. And once again, I'm turning on my L. I'm here conducting business on the Most High. And I'm sorry for the poor lighting in the room. I'm gonna shoot another video tomorrow in the daytime. But I'm just here to enlighten you and let you know, when you go into these courtrooms, it's all civil. It's all civil in nature, even though it has a criminal aspect. Just know who you are and know what you're doing when you go into these places. And balance yourself. Peace.